Hi, my name is Quynh and welcome to Quynh Yoga. My name is Quynh and I'm a certified prenatal teacher. So in case you're wondering what that means that on top of my other yoga certifications in terms of different styles, I also have an 85-hour prenatal certification and I regularly teach prenatal classes. So welcome to my prenatal at-home yoga class. What I'd like you to do is to grab yourselves two bolsters if you have them. I don't have bolsters at home, so I'm going to grab two pillows. So you've got two pillows and also whatever you can use as your equivalent for yoga blocks. It might be a couple of hardcover books or it might be your yoga blocks. And then set yourself up in a way that's comfortable. I'm going to fold my pillow in half so it's more like a bolster height. I'm going to sit over top of it in Savasana with my shins down. Sit any way that feels comfortable for you. That could be on your blocks, that could be cross-legged. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on baby belly, and allow yourself to land to your body. Tune into the sound of your breath. Tune into the movements coming from within. Rock yourself forward and back a little bit. Really exploring where is the midpoint, where is the edge as you come forward, and where is the edge as you come back. And then leaning left and right slightly. And then landing in what feels like truly the center for you today. Bring your awareness to your breath. Your only task is to breathe and to watch yourself breathe. Breath drops in, turns warm in the belly, nourishes. Warm breath drops out, and we repeat. Breath drops in, turns warm in your belly, nourishing warm breath. Breath drops out. One final breath here. Slowly release the arms, open up your eyes. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Reach your right arm out at a low angle. And take your left hand over top of the head, inviting the ear down towards the shoulder. Nothing forced. You have the option to stay here. Maybe you choose to turn your right thumb down and wrap the arm around the back, palm facing away from you. Feeling the breath expanding into the back of the hand, into the back ribs. And then turn to look into the crook of the elbow. Take your gaze down towards the floor. Slide your hand down the back of your head. One more full breath. And slowly release yourself upright, meaning your neck upright, your hand still behind your head. And then take your right hand over top of the elbow. Option A is you stay here. Hand over top of the elbow. If it's available to you, you can always wrap your right arm around, connect the fingers together, coming into Gomukhasana with the hands. I'm going to keep my hand over top of the elbow. Really taking this opportunity here to be kind to yourself, to give yourself a little bit extra space, and to remember that in pregnancy you want to scale back and you are finding an edge, but you're finding an edge that's 60 to 70% of your edge. One last breath here, and now release the arms. Roll your shoulders back 3 times. And then switching sides. Right ear to right shoulder, left arm out at a low angle, hand over top of the head, inviting the ear down towards the shoulder. Nothing forced, and you stay here, you turn the thumb down. Option to wrap the arm around the back if you choose. Take your gaze down towards the floor. Turn towards your right and slide your hand down the back of the head. Release your left arm. Take your head upright and then take your left hand over top of the elbow. That's option A, and you're welcome to wrap that left arm around and connect the fingers if that makes sense for your body. Our bodies are changing every day, so really listening. Maybe last week you did wrap your arm around. Maybe this week that doesn't feel right. So really allow yourself to practice and to come as you are. One last breath here, and then slowly release the arms. Come down to something low. You could sit on a low pillow. I'm going to come off of the bigger pillow, and you can also sit flat on the mat. Taking the soles of the feet in together, if that feels comfortable, if it doesn't sit cross-legged or any other way. We're going to come forward into seated cat and cow. So inhale, reach your heart up. Exhale, round your spine, look at baby belly. And again, inhale, lift the heart up, gentle back bend. Exhale, round it in. Last time, lifting your heart up, leaning a little bit back. And then exhale, round it in. Slowly take yourself upright. You decide what feels good in your body. So maybe it's butterfly, maybe it's something else. We're going to move into our Sufi circles. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale, lean towards the right. Round your spine back. Inhale, move the heart forward. Exhale, take it back. So rocking your baby. Really allowing yourself to celebrate what this feels like to move into the circular sensual movements. Exploring. How do things feel? Where are the sticky spots? Where do you want to slow down? Where do you speed up? Do your shoulders, your hips want to do their own thing? Take 2 more in this direction. And then come back to center. So the offering now is straddle legs. If it feels good in your body, if it makes sense for you, part your legs, straighten the legs up, and if it doesn't, stay in butterfly or give yourself a cross-legged position. We're going to take our Sufi circles in the opposite direction. So using the inhale to lengthen up, exhale, lean towards the left, round your spine back. Inhale, move the heart forward, exhale, take it back. So these Sufi circles, they're an opportunity for you to really articulate through your spine, but also to find that connection to breath, that connection to sound, that connection to your own authentic voice. So maybe here you find a touch of sound. Maybe you find a set of horse lips. Maybe it's a sigh. Just releasing in whatever way feels good in your body. 2 more in this direction. And then very gently gather your legs in, roll forward onto hands and knees. So taking your hands as wide as your shoulders, your knees. To start, you'll probably be hip distance, but eventually as the body changes, going wider, giving yourself a wider base as needed. Inhale, take your heart forward, hips back, cow position. Exhale, round the spine, look at baby belly. Continue moving at your pace. So the inhale takes you to extension. Exhale, C curves your spine. And if you're in final trimester, go going a little bit more conservative with your back bend, really listening to your body, just going to a gentle edge that feels good, that makes sense. So now I'd like you to start inviting in barrel rolls. So leaning towards the left, think Sufi circles, and then doming yourself up towards the ceiling, lean towards the right, drop the belly down, and then circle it up. You can close your eyes, you can soften your gaze, just really allowing yourself to drop into the feeling and letting go of the results. And it might be that your movements take on a different shape, no problem. This is not about getting it right, this is about really tuning in what feels good in your body. Take 2 more in this direction. Come back to center, and you decide. Maybe you choose to come to down dog. I'm going to rest in child's pose. I'm going to grab a bolster, give a little bit of extra support just underneath the chest, leaving room for the belly to hang down. So you're welcome to stay here longer. When you are ready, you're going to come up onto all fours, and we are going to take our barrel rolls in the opposite direction. So doming it up, leaning towards the right, dip the belly down, move over towards the left. You might imagine that you are inside a bracelet and you are shining the bracelet with your shirt. Very much like Sufi circles, but we're on all fours. And again, this is not about getting it right. This is about moving intuitively. And so let your body move in the way that makes sense. Let your hips, let your head do their own thing. Feeling free to let out any sounds, any sighs that feel good for your body. So take 2 more in this direction. And I'd like you to give your wrists a break by coming down into puppy dog. This is also a great option. Even when I say come to down dog or come to all fours, that you can always be on your forearms if that's better for you. You can stack your hands, stack fists. One final breath, and then come back onto all fours. So now, invitation to move into primal play on all fours. What that means is that you are listening to your body. You are moving in the way that feels good. Let it be messy. Let it be non-linear. And just turn on a good song if this music is not resonating with you. Really feel what your body needs. And that might mean resting. That might mean lying on your side. Allowing yourself to soften. It might mean moving onto down dog. Let your head do its own thing. Let your shoulders and hips shimmy in the way that feels best. And then when you are ready, come down onto your forearms and roll over onto your left side. We're going to do a little bit of glute strengthening. We're going to move into clamshell. So what I'd like you to do is to lie down on your side in a way that's comfortable. So maybe your arm is straight, maybe you're propping yourself up, your fingers are tented out in front of you. So now, opening the legs up and then closing them together. Your knees are bent. So keep moving at your pace. I realized I didn't do a countdown, counting inside, but I should be counting out loud. So you got 3 more, counting down from 16. All right, and then moving over into the other side. So now you're lying on your left side. You can have your arm extended. You can have your head resting on your arm. Knees are bent at about 90 degrees, maybe a bit of a wider angle. Your heels are in line with your butt. Your front hand is tended out in front of you. And now, keeping the feet together, we take 16 clamshells. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close it. Place your hands down and slowly make your way up onto all fours. We're going to move into a modified restorative or prenatal vinyasa. So the props that you'll need for that is your bolster. I don't have a bolster, so we're going to use the pillows. I'm going to take 2 pillows to give myself a little bit more height. If you have a regular bolster, you'll probably only need 1. And so I've got my bolsters, pillows, in between my hands and knees. And then as I come forward into a supported up dog, the top of my thighs touch the bolster. There's room for my belly. I'm still working, I'm hugging the outer ankles in. And as I exhale, I touch my knees down, lay my chest over top of the bolster, supported child's pose. Moving at your pace, coming forward onto all fours, coming forward into your supported up dog. The offering for this one is that you twist a little bit, just peeking over top of your left shoulder gently, coming back to center, and then peeking over top of your right shoulder, coming back to center, and then landing your knees back down. And for this one, taking a child's pose that opens up the shoulders. So I'm moving my bolster pillows forward and placing the hands over top of them so that I open up in the shoulders, still in child's pose. One final breath. Slowly press yourself upright, move your bolsters closer towards you, and then come forward into your supported up dog. So now moving at your pace. You've got options. So maybe you're going to come back into your child's pose, any one of the 2 versions we've done, but maybe you choose to come to down dog. In mama down dog, your feet are wider than hip distance apart to accommodate the changing body, and you can be still, you can be moving, you might be here just for 1 breath. So don't worry about following along to the video. This is now your time to give yourself what you need, whatever feels good for your body. So that might be child's pose the whole time. It might be exploring more of a back bend. So you've got your supported up dog, you have your supported child's pose, and you have your mama down dog. You're going to weave these movements in together in the way that feels best for your body. And if you're feeling strong today, maybe you take your regular up dog without the bolster, but know that the option to have the bolsters is still there for you. This is also a great way to modify. If you're finding a regular class online, maybe a hatha, flow class, that's not specifically a prenatal class, you can always place the bolsters, pillows underneath your thighs. Give yourself a little bit of extra room, a little bit of extra support. Just making sure that when you modify, you're taking open twists and that you are not taking options on the belly, but instead perhaps on all fours or perhaps on your knees. And then the next time that you are ready to be back in child's pose, move the bolsters to the front of your mat and settle down, Balasana, child's pose. Breath drops in, turns warm in the belly, nourishes, warm breath comes out. And then slowly press up into all fours. tuck your toes underneath. Make your way into Malasana, yogic squat. So I'm going to turn forward. You stay facing exactly how you are. And we're going to spend a little bit of extra time here. So this is my very favorite pose for prenatal classes, Malasana, yogic squat. And there's a lot of reasons. It's my favorite pose for people who aren't pregnant as well, because it opens up the hips. But specifically for mamas, our pelvis is 30% more open in this position than in any other position. So it's a great position for going to the bathroom. It's a great position for birthing. So if you're learning this, if you're finding discomfort here, I invite you to take care of yourself, to practice. And the more that we practice, the more comfortable it gets. But it will always be a place of greater discomfort than just lying down. We want to find our way into that and to be kind, to be patient. So if you need to, you can always pop a couple blocks underneath your butt, or maybe you're putting blocks underneath your heels. You're finding a way to make this work for your body. And I'd like you to experiment with maybe taking the feet parallel, with turning the toes out. We're going to be here for a little while. I am wearing a watch. So what we'll do is we'll take 3 sets of horse lips. I'll talk about it, and then we're going to take 3 more. Take a big inhale. And again. And again. All right, so why horse lips? Well, it's what you do with these set of lips is connected with what happens with the pelvic floor and these set of lips. So what we want to do is to practice gathering and releasing the pelvic floor. And for a lot of us, this isn't stuff, these aren't exercises that we're necessarily used to. So what I'd like you to think about is gathering the pelvic floor. And if you're like, I don't know exactly what that feels like. Well, let's say you're peeing and you're stopping mid-flow. So the muscles that you're using to do that. Another way to think about this is that maybe there's a blueberry right underneath your butt. Yeah, I don't know why, but there is. And then you're going to gather that blueberry in, pull it in a little bit, and then release it. Another analogy that you can think about is the snowman. So the snowman has a head, the midsection, and the bottom section. So the midsection, consider that the vagina. The top, that's the urethra, and then the bottom is the anus. So all 3 of them, it's a warm day. The snowman's getting a little bit melty eventually. But right now, first, let's start with the cold day. So the snowman, we gather in. It's a cold day. The snowman's shivering, and then slightly warms up. So there's a slight gathering, a slight contraction, and we release. And you can practice that not connected to sound at all. But why I like horse lips is that it's pretty much impossible to be blowing and relaxing these lips and clenching. And what you want to practice is not clenching so that you're able to release, so you're able to push out, so you're able to birth. So here we go. We're gonna, what I'd like you to do is to first gather your pelvic floor and then to release, to soften. The snowman slightly melts. And then again, cold day, snowman's shivering, and then you soften. And then one more time, and you release. So let's do this with sound, paying attention to what happens with your pelvic muscles. Take an inhale. And again. And again. Okay, so now you're going to take your fingertips to the floor, and I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what's happening, but I'd like you to stay exactly as you are. Your fingertips are on the floor or on blocks. You're going to look down at the floor and gently take your hands to your thighs. Round your spine. Look at your belly. You are supported. Very slowly, round the spine. Make your way up. Reach the arms up. Take an inhale. As you exhale, take a half squat, half plie. Land your hands on your thighs, round the spine, and slowly rise yourself up. Keep moving at your pace. We're going to take 2 more here at these half squat sun salutations. And this next one, you can stick with what you've been doing. Maybe you're going to incorporate a gentle back bend. Stick with what you've been doing, or maybe you're going to come down into a deeper squat. And then take your time, always supported, hands on thighs, slowly round yourself up. So keep moving at your pace. So just because I'm demoing one version doesn't mean that's what you have to do. This is really the time to connect what's happening inside and to feel what it is that your body needs. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. This is your practice. The purpose of yoga is to pause, soften, and connect. To really allow yourself to notice whatever is arising within you without judgment as you connect to your breath. Less about it being a finished product and more about you exploring. How are things different today? How are things feeling? What do these movements, what does this physical release give you access to? What does it liberate in your body? So after this last one, we're going to stay all the way up. Heel toe your feet so that they are parallel. You're coming into Mama Mountain Pose, which means Tadasana, but a little bit of a wider base. Soften the shoulders. Take your left hand to your hip. Reach your right arm up. Nudge the hips towards the right and arc over towards your left. And this is a beautiful place to stay. Those who choose to, maybe you reach your left arm up. Relax the shoulders. Knit the lowest ribs in. Root to rise yourself up. Right hand to the hip, left arm up, nudge the hips towards the left, side bend. Choose your variation. Root to rise yourself up, and then take your arms out in front of you. Bend your knees, take your booty back, and you're moving into Utkatasana, chair pose. Feel like there's actually a chair behind you. So sit a little bit lower and you decide, do your arms stay here? Do they come to your hips? You reach the arms up. One last breath. Slowly rise yourself up and then rise up into your tiptoes. Noticing if you're holding your breath, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the expression on the face. One final breath here. Slowly lower yourself down. Come back into your chair position. We're going to take an open twist, twisting towards the right. So taking your chest towards the right, reach your right arm back, your left arm forward. You can keep reaching the arms forward, or maybe you take a more relaxed approach. Hand on thigh, hand outside the sacrum, behind the sacrum. One last breath here. Unwind, come back to center. This time reach the arms up as you rise also up onto your tiptoes. And then lower yourself down, bend your knees, sit into chair, and you're going to twist over towards the left. As you do this, notice that your right hip will try to come forward, so send it back. Send your left hip forward. Find your variation. One final breath, and then slowly rise yourself back up. So setting yourself up for warrior one. I'm going to turn to face the front of my mat so you can see what's happening. Start with your hands and your hips, and then step your left foot back. You're going to go about hip distance apart, and sometimes prior to pregnancy we'll go with a narrower stance, but I would suggest hip distance, you changing it for your body depending on what's going on. So your left toes are facing towards the front left corner. You are bending into your front leg, and you're going to guide your right hip back and your left hip forward. Reach the arms up. This is your warrior one. So what feels spacious today? Is it cactus arms? Is it arms parallel? Is it hands together? Really honoring what is right in your body. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist towards the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, nice, gentle, open twist. Last time, back to center. And then exhale, twist it out. Come back to center. Straighten your front leg. Put my blocks at the back of the mat. So I'm going to gather them here and take them forward. So your blocks can go on top of your bolsters if that's a little bit more spacious for your body. And without assumptions, without even thinking that you need to use the blocks at all, maybe you're going to stay higher. So your hands are on your hips. You're going to straighten your legs and move your heart forward. If it makes sense for your body, your hands can come down to the blocks. They do not have to. So when I talk about your blocks coming on top of your bolsters, maybe you've got blocks over top and you're just getting a little bit more height. One final breath. Root to rise yourself up, and then step your left foot forward, step your right foot back. So setting up for warrior two, warrior one on the other side, you're bending into your front leg, your toes face towards the front right corner of the mat, you guide your left hip back, your right hip forward, reach the arms up, find your position. Maybe it's cactus arms, maybe it's shoulder distance, maybe it's arms up overhead. So now moving into a twisting flow. Take an inhale, arms up. As you exhale, twist towards your left. Come back to center, inhale. Exhale, twist towards the left. One last time, coming back to center. Exhale, twist towards the left, nice and spacious, 60 to 70% of your edge. Slowly come back to center, straighten your front leg. Hands on the hips, maybe they're going to come onto blocks. Reach your heart forward. One final breath. Root to rise yourself up, and then step your right foot forward. Tadasana, mountain pose. So I'd like you to find some wall space. I've got the wall right here. We're going to open up the shoulders. Facing the wall, take your right arm out at 90 degrees, palm touching the wall, and then you're going to twist, or rather you're going to turn away from your hand any amount. So you're turning towards your left and opening up to the shoulders. One last breath. Rotate yourself back towards the wall. Take your left arm out, 90 degrees, palm facing down. So when I say 90 degrees, shoulder height. And then turn away from the wall any amount. Invite your breath to be long, deep, and even. Slowly turn back towards the wall, and what I'd like you to do is to keep your right fingertips on the wall for balance. If you don't need it, you don't need it. You can move your hand. We're going to start with a quad stretch with the option to move to dancer's pose, Nautavajasana. So bend your left leg, catch the outside of your ankle, point the knee down, move the heel in towards your butt, and you don't have to touch your butt. The mantra is if you're feeling it, you're doing it. So take yourself to a place of sensation that makes sense for your body. One last breath here, and then slowly release. So that's our quad stretch. Your dancer's pose option comes next. Switch sides. So left fingertips to the wall, and then bending your right leg, holding onto the ankle, giving yourself that quad stretch. One final breath. Release the right leg, and it's back to right fingertips on the wall. So maybe you're going to repeat that quad stretch. That's an option. That's how we'll start. So you hold on to the outside of your ankle. Those who choose to, you're going to kick your leg back any amount, lift your heart up. Your hand can always stay on the wall the whole time. Maybe you choose to take your right arm up. And then slowly release that, take the other side. So left fingertips to the wall, bend your right leg. Option A, your back and your quad stretch. Those who choose to, kick the leg away from you, lift the heart up. Maybe you reach your left arm up. So this is dancer's pose with an alternative grip. One final breath, and then slowly come back, Tadasana, mountain pose. Heel toe your feet so that they are moving wider. I'm going to turn actually to face this long edge of the mat. So face any way that allows you to take your feet wide. And then taking your arms out into Goddess Warrior, sit yourself low. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, push the walls away from you. And again, inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, push it out. Last time, inhale, exhale, push the walls out. All right, so now what I'd like you to do is to heel toe your feet in a little bit more narrow, so you're not quite as wide. I'd like you to move your hips in one direction, hip circles. This is not yoga, this is just you feeling that connection to the middle, to all that stuff in the belly, in the groin area, areas that we're often not moving. And I'd like you to circle it out. Let it be sensual. Let yourself move, horse lips or sighs if that feels good. And then other directions, circling it, reversing it. Let your shoulders do whatever they'd like. Let your arms do whatever they'd like. All right, we're going to wind down, coming back through Malasana. So feet slightly turned out, arms reaching up. Inhale. Exhale, come down to squat position, Malasana. Slowly help yourself down to a seat. You can sit on a chip foam block, a rolled up blanket, and then soles the feet in together. Setting yourself up with as many props as you need, making sure there's always room for the belly. Allow yourself to forward fold, coming into butterfly. So as we slow down, as we spend a little bit more time here on the floor, I invite you to really pay attention. What is your 60 to 70% edge? And then back off, give yourself space, let the body invite you in. You don't come to the mat to accomplish, but to feel. There's nothing you need to accomplish in terms of hitting a pose or fighting your way into a shape. Take this as an opportunity to tune into the body. Slowly press yourself upright. So we're going to move into a seated figure four, a seated thread the needle. Gather your legs in, place the sole of your left foot on the floor, actually both feet on the floor to start, and you're going to cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh. It might be that you're feeling it up, so you're going to stay here. If it makes sense for your body, you can always scooch yourself in. If your hips are feeling pretty open and really love a deeper hips opener, maybe you take double pigeon. Double pigeon, also known as fire log pose, is where your two shins are stacked and you can fold forward any amount. For many of us, seated thread the needle is just perfect. Uncross that right leg, sole the right foot to the floor, and then other side. Left ankle over top without assumptions. Just because you did one thing on one side doesn't mean you need to do it on the other side. So maybe this is where you stay. Maybe things feel different here. So whether that means giving yourself more space, that means putting the foot a little further away from you, or scooching in closer, taking it deeper, or maybe moving into your double pigeon. Really honoring what is right in your body. One final breath here. Slowly lean back. Take the feet as wide as the mat. Let your knees windshield wiper from side to side. We're going to finish up with camel. I'd like to take a few sets of these. The variations that we'll be doing in camel is actually a great option where if you come to your regular class and let's say there's a section that's prone, meaning on the belly. We're taking locust pose, we're taking cobra, and you're like, what can I do? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to set yourself up on your knees, and that could be sitting a little bit more relaxed with the butt on the heels, or that could be in a more traditional camel pose. I'll do both today. So for the first one, we're going to take easy camel. What do I mean by easy? It means that your butt never leaves the floor or never leaves the blocks. I'm going to sit on a block so it's a little bit more comfortable. You might enjoy that as well. So sitting down with your butt on your heels or on top of your block, take your fingertips back, and then lift your head up. Move to that gentle edge. One last breath here, and then slowly take yourself upright. So you can do this whole section with your butt on the blocks, on the floor. I'm going to move into more traditional kneeling position. So now I'm kneeling. Your toes can be tucked or untucked, and offering is to interlace the hands. Lift your heart up, point the knuckles down. Move into your gentle back bend. One last breath. Root to rise yourself up, untuck your toes, and settle down. Repose. When you are ready, final back bend. So I'm going to tuck my toes because that's a little bit more spacious, and you might even choose to take blocks behind you to allow your hands to come to something higher. Know that they don't have to at all come to the blocks. Take your hands to the back of the pelvis. Draw the tips of the shoulder blades together. Strong legs, strong core, lift your heart up. So this is Ustrasana camel pose. Every body is different. Even your body is different from day to day. So maybe this is perfect. Maybe your hands come to your blocks. Maybe they come to your heels. So finding what makes sense for your body. One final breath here. Root to rise yourself up. Come back to sitting on your shins. Finish up with gentle seated twists. And again, sitting any way that feels good for you. I'm going to pop a block again under my butt. You could be cross-legged. And you're going to turn towards the left. One hand on the legs. One hand behind you. Allowing yourself to let go. Slowly unwind. Take an inhale. As you exhale, twist in the other direction. Last breath. Come back to center. Now for the best part of yoga, Savasana. If you know how you like your Savasana, please set yourself up right away without hesitation. Otherwise, I'm going to demo a couple of options. One popular option for mamas is a side lying pose. So for that, I like to have a pillow, and I like to have another pillow in between my legs. Making your way onto the side, and you can also use a block in between between the legs or the head. You're lying on your side, you're fully relaxed. So that's one option. The other option is a slight incline. So to set that incline up, you're going to give yourself one higher block. You're going to give yourself one lower block. If you had a chip foam block, you'd lay that across. I don't really have a chip foam block. It should work pretty well though with the pillow. So I'm going to lay 2 pillows over top to create that incline. And if I had another pillow, I'd probably put that underneath my knees, but right now I don't. So I'm just going to lie back on top of this incline. Removing any clumps of ponytail or bun. As I'm here, I'm like, you know what? I'd like my head to be just a little bit higher. So I'm going to grab this blanket, pop it underneath, and I'm going to raise things up. There we go. When you are ready, trust that you've done the work and really allow yourself to let go. Bask in the bliss of your practice. Corpse pose, Savasana. deepen your breath. Invite small movements into your body. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, roll your head to one side and then to the other. Reach your arms up long overhead. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And big exhale. Roll over to one side. Use your arms to gently press yourself up. Set yourself up in a position that's comfortable to sit in. We'll finish exactly as we started. One hand on baby belly. One hand at your heart. Connecting to the breath. Notice what, if anything, has shifted. Acknowledge yourself for showing up, for taking this time to be with your breath, to be with your body, to practice self-care, to take care of your baby. Namaste. Thank you very much. My name is Quynh, and thank you very much for practicing with me. If you enjoyed this class, please hit like and subscribe for new videos every week.